to Dance Mogul Magazine. We're here today live. My name is Basil, and I'm the interviewer, and we're here live with the official members of the Universal Zulu Nation. We have Brother
DeMarco.
Brother
Son one.
Brother
Scott.
and we're here today so that we can get updated on the new things that Zulu Nation would like all of the chapters and just the world in general to know. So to begin, we're going to start off with Brother DeMarco, and he's going to help us to understand where Zulu Nation is and just all the things that we need to know at this time.
Okay, basically, Zulu Nation started in 1973. Africa Bambaataa, the godfather of hip hop, started in the Bronx. Basically, everyone in the whole world understands that, know that. But it's been like at least about 39 years now. And basically, we did a lot of things as far as just music. We stayed on the music side. But right about now, it's 2003. And, you know, we do a lot of things in the community. And 2013. We do a lot of things in the community. And, you know, we try to help the young kids come out, you know, get in school. If they out of school, you know, get their GEDs, try to get them, you know, out of high school, into college, and different things like that. But in 2013, when it came in, we wanted to give another component to the Zulu Nation, so we started basically a business side of it. And from here now, along with the community stuff that we're doing, we're adding a business segment to it. And right about now, we want the world to know, you know, we have a business component to the Universal Zulu Nation.
Okay, that's great. One of the things that I know that caught the attention of Dance Mogul Magazine was when I saw a video of the Zulu Nation being active in the community as far as after Hurricane Sandy. I saw that Zulu Nation was out there in the community helping to reassure those ones that were displaced, making sure that everybody had food to eat, and I just thought that that was really commendable.
So you should be in here too.
Of you brothers, as far as just being able to provide that type of service to the community even before, you know, the government could get involved. You brothers were ahead of the curve with that.
We found it important to mobilize our team that we had, Brother Muhammad, Ahmed, Brother Shep, of course Africa Bambaataa, and you know, we went out into the community and we fed the people that needed to be fed. If the government wasn't going to do it, we was going to do it. And for a long time, we wanted to go out there and show the people that we can mobilize and make things happen, and that's what we did.
Okay, and I'm sure the people appreciated that. I noticed that the people wasn't used to that kind of hospitality and that as far as coming together, and I noticed how, you know, you guys went out the way to really make them feel comfortable, and so I just appreciated seeing that myself, and it made me want to get more involved with what you brothers are doing.
Thank you.
So tell us some more as far as your approach as far as business goes. How would you like to take Zulu Nation to another level as far as business?
Well, first of all, we started the clothing line, but that's just something that we're working on since 2013. We started, everything is incorporated now. We're going into merchandising and doing different things like that. So that's what we're going with.
Okay, so, excuse me, incorporation as far as Zulu Nation, that means that people just can't put Zulu Nation name on flyers and things like that no more?
So as of 2013, anyone that has our logo or anything that says Zulu Nation
Would have to have a brand.
yeah, they would have to have a license. If they're promoting, if they're selling any merchandise, they would definitely have to have a license. So they will have to call us, make sure they get all that business straight, and then from there they can sell, you know, our merchandise.
Okay, and as far as the flyers, the same thing, they can't just put your name and your logo on their flyers?
No more of that. No more of that.
And what about Zulu Nation members in different chapters? What
Well, we
should they
send
do?
out letters also to the different chapters, you know, friendly letters, you know, letting them, making them aware that if they're selling any merchandise, because over the years they've been selling a whole lot of merchandise, and they haven't been coming back to the Godfather. So what we did, we set in place a team to send all that information out, whether it's email, old school letter, or texting, or whatever, word of mouth, street mouth, or whatever it is. to let them know that they can't sell any merchandise without a license from the Universal Zulu Nation.
Okay, all right, so that's pretty clear that you brothers are doing that. And as far as you, brother, help us to understand the vision that you would like the world and the different chapters to know.
Well, I've been a part of this nation since I've been 13 years old. I'm 44, I'll be 44 tomorrow. And when I first had my vision and started thinking more deep in detail, what can I do for this family? I had got into an incident with my mom, and I ended up living with Bambada for 3 months. During that time I lived with him for that 3 months, he opened up a whole different world for me. You know, he told me, Scott, you know why I started this? To change some of the violence. So I used to be a black spade, we fight against with the savage girls, chain legs, all the different, you know, the 70s era, you know, and into the 80s era is when he took on the culture to unite us, and he took a lot of the gangs and turned them into chapters, so that way we could work with each other. It made the city a little smaller. It made us be able to be a movement and support each other. So that way, if somebody got something going on, this brother's got an event going on, it's only right if we go support him. You know, that way supporting you. Not only we support our own brothers, but we support other communities and other organizations. You know, this community center here, this building actually here, I grew up in this building, you know, and we were part of the breakdance scene when it first came out. And my brother did the movie Flashdance for Rocksteady. So we also did Frosty Freeze's memorial here. And ever since then, the community liked it. The directors, they said, okay, this is bringing unity to some of these kids together. We're giving them a safe environment to have fun, basically. And over 20 years ago, I started a martial arts program here. My man Andy over there, black belt Andy, you know, and it's continuing. And we kept it in the system. We're all part of the Temi Akijibuchi system. And we kept it in the family, and this is one of the brothers that continue teaching 20 years later. And this is actually a meet and greet place that we did, you know, and you know, I call it the Upper West Side Historical B-Boy, B-Girl Boogie Summit. Is because a lot of the Rocksteady crew, like Norm Steve, Frosty Freeze, Ken Swift, you know, Kippy D, you know, a lot of these people from Andy, his sisters are one who say, hey, you, the Rocksteady, you know, that's Andy's sister there. So, but, I just started saying that I got these brothers, all these brothers here, we can utilize, and you know, we're all leaders, you know, and I was like, you know, this Mark is good in business, you know, Henry over there, he's a quiet man. But he's a great mind. Also, too, he's one of our NRA instructors. Also, too, a CEO for Quality Security. So we started getting into business, and Quality Security is one of our businesses. You know, we did it to create jobs. And these events that we're doing here, we did as a meet and greet place, so brothers can exchange cards, info. This is what I'm going. This is what I'm doing. And any type of rally that's going on, anything that we can support, what we try to get into. We can't be all over the place, but there's enough members to be at least where we're supposed to be. But we're definitely community activists. We into doing stuff with the community. And Nomsky, my brother, now is also a dean. He's at a alternative school, so he works with me with the education part. You know, but our baby, when DeMarc has a little bit of time, going to be a workshop program, because a lot of these brothers here don't know how to read, they don't know how to go on job interviews, they don't know how to even talk, or they don't know how to dress on interviews, they don't know how to put resumes together. So it's important for us, especially when we talk to some of these gang members or these drug dealers, you know, you can't tell them to stop what they're doing, it's their living, you know, unless you're going to put something in front of them. So I'm a gang member myself, I was a gang member myself, you know, and I lived hardcore in the projects, on welfare, you know, 70 era, the heroin thing was going on. So I understood what it is to come from a broken home. So I didn't stereotype these brothers and sisters that were on the street. I said I'm going to utilize these people and bring them together and utilize their strengths. Everybody has a different strength. You know, we're all equal, you know, but we do go by a chain of command. You know, I'm a martial artist, we go by rank and order. You know, you got to have some type of chain of command. And I know what it is to be a general and a soldier. You know, because certain people I fall under mid, you know, so Quality Security, I'm within, you know, and the rank and order, we and him equal now. I caught up to him, both 6-degree black belts. But, you know, and I'm a team player, you know, and unity, this family, Zulu Nation family, is where it's at. You know, we had our ups and downs just like any organization, like the Black Panthers, whether there was infiltrators in the organization, and you know, people stereotype us as a gang. I'm not a gang member.
And
you know?
that's important, what you just said. That's part of why I felt that it was so important to speak to you brothers live, is because I think a lot of people really don't understand. And basically what I'm hearing that you're saying, and that we want the world to be clear on, is that you're saying from the beginning, Zulu Nation was always about serving the community and for providing services and opportunities for individuals, and you guys just grew and expanded.
Yes, we did.
From a community perspective by using the arts and education on different levels.
Our elements,
Okay.
DJing, MC, graffiti, b-boy, boogieing, human beatbox. It was our way, our art, our expression, you know, because in the 80s we really didn't have nothing. We created this hip hop, you know?
And we didn't know we were
And just like tap
We just
dancing was
do it,
created
yeah.
in New York, hip hop was created. And it is one of the original Soul Sonic, you know, Planet Rock, you know? You know, the sister here, Pepsi, original Black Spade. You know, Bam was a Black Spade, I told you. And he's seen the unity, at the same time he's seen the drugs out there. Because our government, my father came from the heroin addict era. He was a heroin addict. I love my father, but he changed, and he taught us how to change, you know. But the next generation came in, the 80s, they threw the crack in there, you know. I don't want to mention the government again, but, you know, there's certain obstacles out there. And a lot of times, when you're in a certain environment, it's really hard trying to fight to get out. But when you have a movement, and you have unity, and you have a team, and some backing, it's easy for you to maneuver if people are on the same page and see the same vision. And you know, and Bam is our godfather. I can't even instill, you know, some of the stuff that he instilled, you know, in me. But a lot of us feel it. You know, we're all a part of this, and we're going to continue doing this. Like I said, I was 13. I'm 44 now. You know, Bam gave me footage of me in Bronx River before the big breakdance contest, just to let me know that, you know, I still got you in my heart. You know, you've been doing this from the beginning with me. You know, and that brother admit, when I got kicked out, he was the one basically teaching me martial arts, and I continued that. So we've always had that unity. We always had obstacles too. You know, like I said, with the drugs and you know, the gangs, the other gangs are feeling us as gangs, seeing it down in certain colors. You know, and we're gonna protect our brothers and sisters, but also too, we try to unite our brothers and sisters. You know, Tupac was on the verge of doing the Code of the Street, kind of like a Geneva Convention for people, you know, in the streets, you know, so we can have certain boundaries and certain, you know, and it might work, it might not work, but, you know, we still have that kind of vision. We're trying to unite some of our people, you know, and lessen some of the crime. You know, sometimes it's impossible when there's drugs and money involved in certain things. But if you can educate them and show them there's another door opening, you know, and even show them, you know, listen, I'm willing to go out and speak, because I pulled a few Bloods out, a few Crips out, and you know, they have oaths, you know, blood in, blood out, basically. So, you know, I took a risk to get some of these brothers and sisters out, but it was worth it, because, like I said, it's 21 years later. This is my chapter. This is not the nation. Nation, we're ready to go on our 40th anniversary.
So let me ask you this, now not to interrupt you, what would you, when you envision Zulu Nation 100 years from now, what would you, if you could picture that, what would you like for that vision to be outside of the expanded family and the love and the unity that you brothers have been shown, you know, here intimately within this particular chapter, which is what you're telling me as far as Bam and Ahmed and the other brothers, you guys have been embracing a love and a unity together. So when you think about universal Zulu Nation 100 years from now, how do you see that?
I see us with our own schools, our own land,
Our
you
own
know,
nation.
and our own nation, where we have our own doctors, our own police force,
And I
and
think Bam
you
wants
know,
that. Exactly.
you know, that's my vision of it, to have our
Our
own
own
structure
healthcare, our
in
own
the society,
buildings, our own
you know.
corporation.
And I know you're holding back. This is
Well,
somewhat.
I'm this brother, he's gonna share his help us
Yes,
understand.
yeah.
I'm a right
No rush,
Yes,
no
yes,
rush,
yes,
no
help me-
rush.
help me to
For me,
understand.
we got 11 o'clock, you know.
Help me to understand, because help me to understand, brother, how you fit into the family.
I'm 44.
This is his artwork here.
I have the privilege and the honor to have grown up in this neighborhood, which was the mecca, not just in the 80s, but the 70s version of hip hop. Hip hop went through a lot of stages, and that's why when he brought up, like, the streets went through a lot of stages, and like you mentioned, when we was growing up in the 70s, it was all, every neighborhood was territorial. Every few blocks, regardless how many blocks it was all territorial. There was crews, there were actually real gangs. Crews came out of us, but gangs were, outlaw gangs were really what controlled every part of the city, wherever you went. And that's what you mentioned, the Black Spades history, but there was plenty other groups and gangs. Exactly. But a lot of this stuff comes out of, especially the birth of hip hop. A lot of us, like he mentioned, we came out of epidemics, you know, heroin, but then we also came out of a positive movements that were going on at the same time too. Black Panthers, Young Lords, Weather Underground, there's a million of them that was fighting at the time. So that gave us, a lot of us, his father was a Panther, you know, got caught up with the heroin. So you see the contradiction there?
Yeah.
So we was able to grow up with that, and with that, make decisions that a lot of young folks wouldn't be able to make today, only because the life that we lived. We had to grow up very young. We all, like you mentioned, came out of broken homes. And that's what, and we didn't have anything that represented them. You turn on TV, there was nothing really of color. Music,
Fame,
everything, yeah, everything was, and if it was like you mentioned, like Fame or White Shadow, stuff like that, where it was always like somebody outside our communities were helping us versus us helping ourselves. And what we did was, with a subculture like hip hop, was reinvented it to where it gave us power in each element. And then when it came together, it continued to give us power in which we lived outside the system. And that's the reason the system flooded the streets with crack and AIDS, because you had this movement of young people, not really so much adults. You know, when Scotty mentions these Bam, Brother Over Here, and everybody else, we were pretty much in one age category. It was like maybe a few years difference, but other than that, we was pretty much all together. So what happened was we ended up taking this subculture and really developing it to where economically we wasn't working. We was dancing. If you was a break dancer, you danced in the street, you could make enough money to survive all week. If you was doing craft, you could do stuff, clothing, jackets, you name it for people, so you survived.
One of the last of the tramp bombers right here.
MCs, DJs, everybody, DJs did parties. So we found a way of self-survival within the subculture, and that became threatening to the government. They flooded. So I happen to be privileged to come up in this neighborhood that was urban renewal. It was a mixture. It was everybody was brought together, thrown in this neighborhood in order to develop it quickly. And hip hop was, you know, our hip hop on the Upper West Side was pretty diverse, and it gave us a lot of power, in which crack and AIDS destroyed. But now we want to re-educate the original elements to people and show them what hip hop is really about.
And so basically you're saying also that because of your experience, you would also like to help the next generation not have to go through some of the things that you experienced.
Well, yeah, and plus this subculture really helped us. You know, we hear, I mean, we lost a lot of people, but we hear as a perfect example. You just mentioned all that stuff. You're talking about 6-degree black belts, you're talking about people with careers, you're talking about people with business minds. We all developed from this. So the odd thing is, if kids, this generation, get real hip hop, not the industry hip hop. There's a rap, and that's not even hip hop. That's just like one element.
That's rapping.
That's rap. Yeah, that's a corporate sponsored part of our culture that's been hijacked basically, but it's not really the culture. The culture is all the elements together. It's what you see here. It's basically when you look around, the diversity, the energy, the spirit, you know, the youth in us. Look, we all in our 40s and we like 12 years old. You know, we run around crazy. You know, people look at us like,
and this generation, boy, like this hip hop community, these rappers, if they were wise, they don't realize the income that they're making and what they can truly do for their communities. These Jay-Z's, these Kanye's, all these guys, they can put people through education here. Let me pay for your education. Build something. You know?
So I think they're catching on to that fact. And you, brother, they mentioned martial arts. So, and I know martial arts requires a lot of discipline. So I can definitely see how what you had to offer the culture and the communities was very important.
Well, I decided a long time ago to bring it back to the neighborhood. You know, you can't forget where you come from. You know, and I'm the oldest one here out of this. Younglings. And I've been through a lot. I mean, in the 70s, I grew up around everything. Coke, crack. I grew up around it. My sister that just passed away like 3 years ago, she died of AIDS. and everything, and she was born and raised here in this neighborhood. So this neighborhood, when we were growing up, was really, really bad. And we switched the things around. You know, half of us did time, half of us went to jail. I went to jail, I did my time, came home, and I changed. You know, I had my kids and everything. I got into the martial arts. I've been doing the martial arts now for going on 30 years. I built stadiums, I built the marketing. He's one of my students. My nephew that he's now 25, he's been doing it with me now for
My son.
15, since he was 10 years old. My son that he's not here, he's 22, he's been doing it since he was 5. So I've been bringing everything back to the neighborhood to show these kids that you don't have to be bad. You know, everybody has a hard time. We had a hard time. We slept in the streets. We had to run from people. But you know what? It changed our lives, even though half of us went to jail. And that had to change our life when we came out here to be men and to grow up. You know, so again, when I was born and raised here, I took the privilege to come back and teach the martial arts to kids. You know, out of all the kids that I trained, I only lost one.
Yeah, him and I started the program here 20 years ago.
That's really good, brothers. I'm sorry, but we kind of short on time.
Yeah, and I gotta pack up here, yeah.
So I know you brothers gotta go, so I just wanna thank you for your time. I appreciate you. We're gonna get together again so that we can get some more background. Thank you, thank you. If you wanna wrap up,
All
sure.
right, yeah, just want to plug ZuluNations.org, that's what it is, ZuluNations.org, and plus ZuluFaces.com. You know, we have a social media website, and also we have ZuluNation.org, which is radio, TV, and different content for us entertainment. So we want to plug that.
Yeah, also Two Quality Security and Zulu Warrior Security, in fact. You know, we bonding, we insured, you know, licensed firearm company too. We do CCTVs, we do everything, you know, but
You have a website? that you can
Yes,
reach you?
yes.
ZuluNations.org.
They could- Okay,
Right.
okay.
Plus social media, ZuluFaces.com.
Okay. I wanna thank you brothers for coming
Thank
out.
you for having us.
Thank you. Wrap up.